What's up, guys? It is Dan from FightWave. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic day. Today, I'm joined by somebody I'm incredibly excited to speak with. If you're a fan of The Ultimate Fighter just like me, today's guest will come as no surprise. He is the winner of the latest season of The Ultimate Fighter, and in my opinion, delivered one of the most devastating knockouts of last year, and honest to God, I think might be knockout of the year contender. I'm privileged to be joined by one of the most promising young talents out of Brazil right now. He calls himself the legend for good reason. He cemented his legacy already on The Ultimate Fighter against Khan Offley. I'm privileged to be joined by Mr. Mairon Santos. Mairon, thank you so much for your time, brother. First and foremost, how are you doing and how has everything been?
Thank you, man. I'm good. Thanks for this introduction. It was awesome. And I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
Absolutely. And Myron, first and foremost, when you talk about being somebody who goes in there and makes an impression and really just levels up after a loss, after suffering your first career loss, you went out to go on one of the most incredible Ultimate Fighter runs I've seen in recent memory. Talk to me about how you're feeling now, just a year, I think pretty much a year removed from the show, and how everything has been since.
Man, it's been great. It was a roller coaster for me because I could see myself as a elite fighter. After my first loss, I was like, I don't think I belong here and thinking things like that. But I could improve each fight after my first loss and in the house, and I can't wait to show my new version in my next fight.
Definitely. And you were the youngest fighter in the house, and right now you're the second youngest featherweight on the UFC roster. But your skills speak volumes compared to your age. When you talk about going in there with the mentality that you did, that ultimately led you to winning the whole show, how important was it for you to be able to really focus on just leveling up in the Ultimate Fighter house as opposed to every individual fight? What was just the experience and challenge of working in that house like?
Um, Man, I think what helped me like with leveling up it was when I went to the house. I saw some fighters I was like I knew who they were, so I was kind of scared of them. That's why I trained so hard, and I think that's why developed my game. Because to be honest, I was scared of them. Like, I knew like they had good skill set, like some all American wrestler, Olympic wrestler, guys like that. So I think being scared helped me.
And obviously, when you talk about just having that level of competition in the house and having to fight to the level of the competition, I think you really showed that, going undefeated in the actual promotional run of The Ultimate Fighter, and then, of course, in the finale. I mean, hey, when you talk about having an insane knockout like the one that you did against Khan Offley, I don't think that knockout gets talked about enough as maybe a KO of the year of last year. But when you talk about all the media press that you got, everybody, pretty much putting everyone on notice in the featherweight division as to the performance that you had, how good did that feel? I know you've sacrificed a lot to get to where you've gotten to, training in Las Vegas right now. What did that moment feel like when you ultimately won the Ultimate Fighter?
So that moment just felt right because after the show, like when I was getting ready for the finale, I knew what I was capable of, like beating the guys that I beat in the house. And then I was like just trying to have the best performance ever that I could. So all my training was towards like to finish him and in a spectacular fashion. So that's what I did because after the show, after leaving the house, I knew what I was really capable of. So I think that was a good performance to like let everybody know that I'm here to stay.
Definitely, and I talk about the sacrifices. I know a couple of years ago you left your native Brazil and went over to Las Vegas to train in Vegas and pretty much put everything into this sport. That's a sacrifice a lot of fighters make is they travel away from home for an extended period of time and they train elsewhere. How has Vegas been treating you, and what's it been like just to train at a gym like Extreme Couture?
So in the beginning it was hard. Didn't spoke English very well. Uh, didn't know like how the U.S. was how everything here worked. So it was hard. I thought about living here like countless times, but I met some good guys at Extreme, and now I have some friends over there. And just like the high level of training partners that you can have, when I really like start to look from this side, I said to myself that I needed to stay, even if I didn't like, or even if I was alone, because I stay here alone like for 3 years, and then I was finally able to bring my wife. But yeah, man, it wasn't easy in the beginning. I thought about leaving. I actually left to Brazil, but I was there for 6 months, and I figured that that's not it. That's not the same level of training. So Vegas was, and it's been like really good for me. And Extreme is awesome.
Definitely, you talk about making friends in the gym, and of course, one that really stands out to me, I think somebody who doesn't get talked about enough is Mateus Camilo. I know that you and him are great friends on and off the mats. What's it been like just to have a fellow Brazilian that you can look to, confide in, and speak with in those moments where maybe the doubts come in, or maybe there's some difficult moments? Because at the end of the day, like you said, it all comes down to kind of the people you have around you sometimes, and I feel like he's somebody who definitely you would want in your corner. So what's it been like just being able to train with him and being able to just have him in your corner pretty much?
Mateus is an amazing guy, amazing friend. He helped me a lot inside the gym and outside the gym. He was the guy that brought me into Extreme, and made me know how it was like to train in a real gym. And man, I couldn't say like better things about this guy. He's awesome, and he's my main training partner. Like sometimes we have some rounds that look like we want to kill each other, but at the end of the day, I love this guy, and I know like he likes me too, and he's like family for me.
Absolutely, and I love just the team environment that Extreme Couture has. The coaches there, you Danny Davis, you've got Eric Nixick, you've got Eddie Baracco, just a handful of coaches. Dennis Davis, Ray Sefo, so many other great guys. You got Nate Pettit. I keep forgetting the names. There's so many great coaches. Talk to me a little bit just about working with those coaches and how you've seen your game level up because you're still very young, and I know you've been a lifelong martial artist, but at 24 years of age, I feel like you're constantly being able to just have that privilege of adding new tools to your skill set and being able to add new weapons to your arsenal. What's it been like training at Extreme, and do you see how big, if you had to put a percentage to it, how big is the difference between old Mairon and Extreme Couture Mairon?
Oh man, I don't think I can compare old Myron to new Myron, because before I was so like my vision was so limited, like to see just one thing, to think, oh, I just can do that. And now with those guys, like I learn a lot of things every day, just watching these guys, just like seeing what they are teaching to their students. They are very close, and working with them, it's a privilege. And yeah, man, it's great. And I keep improving. Like each time I go to Extreme, it's a new Myron after I leave. So it's awesome to train there.
Definitely. And when you talk about young fighters with experience, Myron, like I mentioned, second youngest featherweight on the roster. But on top of that, you've got nearly 15. You've got 15 professional fights, I should say, as a professional mixed martial artist. When you talk about nowadays young fighters getting the amount of experience that you have, it feels like it's becoming more and more and more common to see younger fighters coming into the UFC as opposed to maybe with 5, 6 fights to maybe with 10, 15 fights. And I think it's just a testament to the skill that the younger generation is getting now at a much earlier age. How much does it mean to you to be one of those younger fighters at only 24, kind of reminding people that, hey, this younger generation that's coming into mixed martial arts isn't coming in just to, be a statistic or be a number, but we're here to become champions at a very young age.
Man, for me, it's great when I look from this side. I started fighting very young, and I did 10 fights in 1 year between 2019 and 2020. So that experience, I think, will be the differential between me and the other fighters that are coming up. Because usually fighters that are super young like me, they have experience sometimes, but they don't have a lot of fights. Maybe they have experience training before, like they start training young, but I think I have like more fights than like 90% of the guys that have my age. So I think that's a advantage for me, and everybody will see that every time I step in the cage, because I know that I fight like a guy who has a lot of experience. So I think that's a good differential for me.
Definitely. And then just in terms of inspiring that next generation, it feels like right now, for a few years, there was a little bit of a period of time where it was unsure who was going to be the next star coming out of Brazil. But it feels like now in 2025, there's so many great gyms. You know, obviously you got Chutabox, you've got Fighting Nerds, and then you've got, of course, Mairon Santos winning the Ultimate Fighter. When you talk about being an ambassador for Brazilian MMA, inspiring the next generation, how important is that for you to be that guy who's like inspiring the young kids from Brazil to drop the antics, you know, get out of the streets or get out of doing bad stuff and get into the gym and put on a pair of boxing gloves and go at it and train mixed martial arts?
Yeah, man, it's good. I come from a very dangerous place in Rio, and I think like people should like try to see or decide any sports, and Brazil has a lot of talent anywhere. If we like go to a competition, like any kind of competition, we'll probably win because we are so talented. And being part of this generation now that's growing up and coming up strong in the UFC, it's amazing. And yeah, uh, that's what I want, to inspire people, to inspire kids, and make them see that there's a future like besides like crime and things like that.
Definitely. And Myron, you know, I've got to ask you because I know for you, being a family man is a very important thing. And it's one of the driving forces behind your success. Being able to take care of your family, being able to be there for them. How much has it motivated you to be able to not only, like you said, bring your family over to Vegas, but be able to share your day to day with them and this journey alongside your, you know, your wife and your child? How much has that meant to you to be able to share this journey with them as you pursue UFC greatness?
Oh man, it's everything because that was always my dream since I was a child, to have a family. And I was here alone for a long time, always trying to visualize this moment, but at the same time, I wasn't like very sure if it was gonna happen because my career, I wasn't fighting frequently. So having them now, it's everything for me. It's a dream come true. Everything came together at the same time, like UFC, family, my son. So man, yeah, it's amazing. I can't put into words what I feel, but it's amazing.
Absolutely, and Myron, I want to thank you so much for your time, brother. It's been great to see your journey, especially from the Dan Argueta fight, you know, that fight to now, the improvements and just growth that I've seen from you as a fighter has been incredible to see. I've been keeping up with the journey. It's been great to see your just growth as a martial artist, and now debuting on arguably the biggest pay per view of the year thus far at UFC 313 against Francis Marshall. I guess talk to me a little bit about that fight, just real quick before we head off, and just Francis as an opponent, and then your message to the supporters at home.
Um, Francis is a great fighter. He has more experience than I do in the UFC, but I don't think he has like the same level that I have in any area, and I want to prove that. So I'll go there and look for the finish. So basically, that's it. And thanks to everyone who is watching this. Thanks for having me here, and I can't wait to perform. Let's go.
Absolutely. And to the fans at home watching, do be sure to check out Mairon Santos versus Francis Marshall at UFC 313 on March 8th. Gonna be a fight to remember. I'll be linking Mairon's socials in the description down below. It's from me, Dan from FightWave. Have a great day, guys.